So if I said the name Geraldton, Western Australia, what would you think of? Have you been there? Have you heard stuff about it? Would you be like, yeah, let's pack our bags and go? Or would you be like, hey, isn't that place where that kid ate that condom in a Macca's playground once? That one's kind of true, but it's not really fair to judge a town by one condom eating incident. So I thought I would ask people what they thought of Geraldton, because I've noticed that since I've left, everyone seems to have an opinion on the place, whether they've been there or not. Let's have a look at some of the feedback I got. Number 1, the best thing about Geraldton, the road out. Next one, you mean Feralton? Someone else says, it's windy, the beaches are full of seaweed, and it's boring as batshit. Okay, someone else, they've got a lot of sand and wind, that's about it. And my favourite, my ex-wife lives there with my old house. That's a little bit grim. But I thought it can't be that bad, surely. Because when I was living there, I thought it was a great place. So let's go back and let's explore. And let's see, are the random people on Facebook right? Or is there something more to that town? Let's find out. So Geraldton is about a 4.5-hour drive north of Perth, and it's located in the state's Midwest region. But just before we roll into town, it's a good opportunity to pop into one of my favourite old spots just to chill out. Ellendale Pools. How's the serenity? So here we are at the beautiful Ellendale Pools, an absolute oasis hidden away just a couple of kilometres out of town. Now, one thing that's a little bit special about this, as opposed to other little watering holes, the water here actually contains amoebic meningitis. Amazing, right? I actually swallowed the water here once, and with nothing else to wash it out of my mouth than 4X Gold, I decided to take my chances. Hey, remember when we said Geraldton was windy? Case in point, look at that tree. You know why it grows like that? Because the freaking wind is so intense, the trees don't even grow straight. Legit. Right now, I'm telling you all about it, but you can't hear anything I'm saying. All you can hear is... It's really, really windy. But anyway, let's try and get away from like the inland stuff. Let's jump straight out to like a little hidden gem off the WA coast. 2 ways to do it. You can go by boat or by a plane. And since I get horrifically seasick when I'm in the bath, we'll take the plane option. Have a look. Oh, there's my old house. There, right there. The little one with the grey roof. Oh, well, it's a nice view, right? See? Very pretty town. I don't understand why people don't like it. Now, welcome to a little hidden secret. You might have heard of, like, Hamilton Island, the Whitsundays, the Great Barrier Reef in general. Did you know, just off the coast of WA, there's like 120-something little islands of just absolute paradise? With amazing fishing and crayfish and private little beaches. We're about to explore one of them, like absolute rock stars landing on our own private island in a private plane. I even started to second guess how much I paid for this thing at this point. Then just a short little stroll down a path, we just popped out in the most amazing view. That is paradise. Can you believe that? So we just landed our private little plane on the runway just a few hundred metres away, wandered down to the beach, and as you sort of come through, you don't know where you're going, and out of nowhere, you just emerge at the most incredible beach I can remember seeing. The sand, it's like white, silky smoke. It's incredible. Doesn't it just feel like you're in a beer commercial? Seriously, anyone who tells you they don't like Geraldton, get your head read. Yeah, righto, mate. But we can't sit on a beach all day long. I mean, that would just be too amazing. So we got back and we decided we'd check out the gift shop of Geraldton. Do you notice that perhaps they like their lighthouse a little bit too much? Lighthouse on hats, lighthouse on mugs, lighthouse on postcards, lighthouse on oven mitts, lighthouse on plates, lighthouse on postcards again, lighthouse on tea towels? Like, okay, we get it. You've got a lighthouse. One other cool thing about Geraldton, this is peak hour traffic. 8:30 on a Wednesday morning. Look, there's a van, there's a white four-wheel drive, there's another white car, and there's a lady with a pram. That's it. This is a statue of a bloke called Webby Hayes. Fantastic name, right? He was on board the Batavia, the ship that crashed into the Abrolhos Islands 1629, a couple of hundred guys were on it. Now, they quickly realised they needed to get help somehow, so a few of the guys volunteered to sail off and find rescue. It took them 3.5 months before they returned. In that time, though, of those couple hundred blokes that were stuck on the islands, they started to get a bit murderous, a bit rampageous, and it was absolute chaos. So old mate Webby Hayes sort of took charge, and he stood up to them with his stick with a knife on it, right? He's like, nah, we're not having any of that, lads. He managed to get a bunch of guys, about 20 of them, over to a nearby island where he built this thing as like their shelter. The first ever European building on Australian soil. The boat came back 3.5 months later. He managed to get out there before the murderous rampages guys did, warned them of it. They managed to save countless lives. The bloke's a champion. Anyway, if you want like the full details, it's something like that anyway. Read a book. Yeah, agreed. That was starting to get a bit too nerdy. Hey, another token shot of the Geraldton foreshore. Look at that. It's paradise. Lots of boats, or ships, I should say, picking up iron ore and wheat and stuff. It's all going on in Gero. But one other thing, if you go to Geraldton, everyone will say to you, have you been to the memorial yet? The HMAS Sydney 2 Memorial. 645 guys lost their lives, and in this little dome, the Dome of Souls, there's one seagull for every single one. 1941, the HMAS Sydney 2 was sunk by a German raider just off the coast of WA, and in 1998 they decided to build that memorial. Problem was, several years later, they realised that, hey, the Sydney didn't really sink off the coast of Geraldton like we thought. It was about 400 kilometres north. But regardless, they've got a lovely memorial for it now. Also, word on the street is that this lady who looks out to sea waiting for her man to come home used to have like a small child standing underneath that second hand of hers. That is obviously in someone's pool room in Geraldton right now. If you do know who it is, please contact Crime Stoppers. But we've had enough of that. Let's get back on the water, shall we? Remember how I mentioned that second way to explore the Abrolhos Islands? Yeah, the boat one. Please don't get sick, please don't get sick, please don't get sick. And this is what we were looking at from the sky. A whole bunch of these little, like, shanty towns built on these little islands. It's amazing. I'm expecting Kevin Costner from Waterworld just to pop up with his big gills and stuff.
I want the girl.
These guys are just like fishing for crayfish and other kinds of amazing fish. Living out here, no foxtail, nothing much going on. But we decided to explore this paradise a little bit closer. Have a look at this bloke. Yes, this is in the wild. This isn't some tank. This is just some seal got nothing better to do than come up and check us out for the day. Amazing. As we motored onto our next little spot in our hidden little island paradise, have a look at that. At first I was like, oh no, pollution. Nah, it's coral spawn. We were literally about to swim in coral's reproductive juices. Until at least I saw that freaking thing. Did you see the size of that? Let's get the hell out of here. But by the way, yes, I did leave about 9 other people in the water behind me, and I got no shame in saying that. Time to go. Let's go. Back to Geraldton. Back to shore. Don't care. Pedal to the metal. Since we were back on shore, it was time to assess the day's catch.
All right, Captain Steve, look at this amazing Spanish mackerel. Are you proud of me?
Well, you did well. I didn't think you were going to quite be able to pull it in, but you managed to, so yes, very proud.
Thank you. What do you think, 50, 60 kilos?
Oh, at least.
I think you're right. I'm not going to the gym for days. Mate, what an amazing office you have, though. The Abrolhos Islands are incredible.
They were pretty special today, especially when it's glassed out this morning.
Yeah, so what's the tips? If people want to be a great fisherman like me, what do they need to do?
Just go with a professional and it'll be easy.
Do you know a professional?
No, I don't, but I like to have a go every now and then.
If you know a professional, let us know.
There you have it. That's Geraldton in a nutshell. Sure, I could have shown you the post office or the shopping centre they've just built that may or may not open on Sundays, I forget. But you don't need to see that. For all that sort of stuff, live it for yourself. Genuinely, Geraldton will blow you away. Tell your friends.